All right, we're going to call the meeting to order, and we'll start with standing for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Joe, would you do the roll call?
Miller,
Present.
Slapey,
Present.
Arnie,
Present?
Trottier,
Present.
Williams,
Present.
Zierden,
Present.
All right. And Bill Toft resigned. As you may know, it was in the paper, and it was also in, it was in the newspaper that in the newspaper about the council meeting. You might want to go look at the video from the council meeting, or look at the paper, what happened, and then he resigned after that. So he is no longer on the committee, and so that's why he doesn't have a spot right now tonight. All right, so we're going to go to approval of the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from April 10th.
Okay, anyone second?
I'll second.
Kim? All in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed? Great. The RFP, the request proposal park master plan. So in the council meeting, they said they definitely wanted us to do this, so we have the draft here, and if you would write draft on your front page of this one, because we didn't get that on there, please, so we know that it's not final. Did everyone have a chance to look it over before? Okay, let's just go through it then, and if anyone has anything, like start to finish, then please interject it right now. And by the way, Joe did this, which this was really awesome that he did this. And I think he did a great job. He used, we got one from Woodseth and then some other ones that we had done before, right? The only thing I would add, because we sat down with Jerry and we looked this over before the meeting, and he suggested that we, here's what I want to add, and then it was kind of fit into what he suggested. So under general information, I would leave that first sentence there, second sentence, and then say something to this effect. Our city park is the center of community events and activities, which we want to enhance for all age groups, utilizing the topography we have and limited space to maximize it and year-round enjoyment, something like that. Mm-hmm. So they have a little more to go on, and that kind of brings in our mission and what we want. It ties in kind of everything like that. And Jerry had mentioned it, and then I didn't, in the moment, think of it. And when I got home a couple of days later, I thought about it. So I can give you that written.
sounds good.
Does that sound good to everybody?
Sounds like a good.
Yeah.
And that is all I saw. Did anybody have anything else?
The red question marks, are we supposed to fill that in?
Yeah, that's kind of important in
Yeah.
the selection process.
Okay, so we can turn to that last page 5.
Like, how do you want to select your consultant? I mean, I tried to keep it very simple. 3 criteria: cost, how do you want to weigh it out? You could do it even split 33% each one, or 50, 25, 25.
Joe, I'm assuming you guys do these frequently for other things in the city. How is it typically split up?
Depends on the project. I mean, it's really what's your biggest importance on the project.
Some of these are subjective,
Yep.
like understanding the implementation of the project scope. that could be just like from what you got in your mind of what the project is for what they show, you know what I mean? It doesn't, and qualifications, I really feel like they're all, anyone who's going to put forth is going to be qualified. But some of the other things are like, can they do the grant writing too? Like we know Woodseth can. And I know some other ones can do that as well, or?
I
Does that
personally-
include in that?
I would just try and do an even split.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because doing an even split
I like that.
allows you, let's say someone comes in on something you rank really high, but they don't hit the stuff that's important. You might have to choose them, even though they're not who you want, so.
If we put,
Yep.
if we put cost as our primary one, but they have never done anything like this before, then we're kind of stuck with who comes in with the lowest bid.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and I
and
had
that's-
seen some that
right.
50% was under the
So
cost
I would
part,
say
so I like that
33,
idea.
33.
Yep, great suggestion.
Do you need a motion for that?
I don't think so. That's, we're, everyone's in agreement. It's a simple change. We had discussion on it. I think we all understand, so. And then, a development from our last, city council meeting. On the bottom here, it says attachment 1, site overmap, and that was this. Initially, this chunk here is all I was looking at the scope, but the city council wants to kind of go back to the concept of the bigger city campus that goes all the way to,
I know that.
At the minimum.
Weavers Point Road.
Okay.
Because we do have some lots, and someone proposed purchasing a couple of city-owned lots. So that was something when the discussion we had at the last council meeting about park planning, from a broader discussion that seemed pretty consensus. So I will modify the map for this proposal. And then, yeah, if we don't have,
Is there a date or anything? I didn't notice, or is it just when we officially get it done, we'll just
Well-
be posting?
Oh, when it's gonna get posted.
Like, yeah, for, opened.
based on our meeting with Jerry, we don't need to bring the RFP to the council to put it out. It's the approval of the person is when it need to go to the council. My thought is we put this out for typically like 3 weeks, or there might be a criteria where it has to be 30 days. And we'd want to meet the minimum criteria, whatever that is.
And then
And,
backdate from there.
yep, and then fill our dates in from there.
Okay.
And then, like, as far as the project schedule, my thought with the project schedule, instead of having us dictate a project schedule that, I'm not sure who we're working with, that could be part of their, once we do the selection, we can plan with them. Cause they're gonna help us with layout, mapping. They have a better idea of how long it takes them to get things done than I do. So that was my thought on that. Like where I have on the bottom, the RFP questions due, proposal due. Like that's just them asking me questions when their proposal would due and a selection tentatively. And then it sounds like the council's gonna have a fair amount of meetings coming up, so soon as we get it back and we, you guys make a decision, it could go to the council at the nearest meeting they have. So, then I will pass the map down so everyone can kind of take a peek at that.
One quick note, will it be us selecting? Because our meeting is June 5th,
We can recommend.
or
The park committee would make the recommendation.
recommendation. So that selection or whatever that is, or recommendation, however we want it, that's June 5th. is our
That's
next-
not in stone yet.
Oh, okay.
Since I've
And align it up
crafted,
with a meeting.
since I've crafted the document, things have changed on just, yeah.
Okay.
We might be hiring, we might have special meetings, we have a road plan meeting, special meeting coming, so
Okay.
we got a lot of, we'll have options. And
Bring it back.
And what I'll plan to do is I will revise this, talk with Jerry about dates, see if he's got any recommendations. Get it to the point where I think we can pull the draft off, and then I'll probably just email it to everyone because we don't need to have a meeting just to review it and take comments, and then we can get it out on Jerry's timeline. I'll just kind of defer to Jerry when he wants to put it out.
Thank
I
you
wouldn't be
for doing
surprised
that.
if we get, one application, but, yep, we're trying
We're
to
opening
get
up-
more than one.
We're opening the opportunity
Yep.
for,
Yep,
Yep, so
is good.
that's all I have on that. I think we're pretty good then.
We also have our workshop that we have plugged into our schedules, so we can also, talk more about it then if there's more developments.
Or we could, reschedule that.
Yeah.
Yep,
I think
that's
we'll-
what I
is
was
that?
gonna ask, is it worth pushing it back until maybe even till we have some applications, or what? I'm not sure
Well, I think we really should identify,
the priority pieces. to
Yeah.
include.
and if you want to look, I couldn't stand that, and everyone's like, I can't visualize where everything is, so I scrolled down a little map here. So just as ideas, general, but just to, and I didn't use that whole area all the way over to Weaver Road, but at this point, that's still a very future area for us. If you want to look at that,
And that was the 22nd at 5.
yeah, it's early this year, isn't it?
Yeah, the graduation is the next day.
Oh, gosh.
Well,
I am not here. I can't come that day. So
Will we need
we can wait and see what happens. I mean, if you want to look at this afterwards and we can talk, just informally a little bit. Okay, so we'll cancel. Yeah.
Yeah.
We won't do the workshop then, and we'll, we may need one for disc golf because I don't know if you're going to cover what they said in the council meeting about that, or
yeah.
would you want to
Staff
take that?
report.
Okay, so where are we going then? Are we done with this then? Let's finish off 5, yes? Go with
The-
those changes that we made, and,
I will need to visit with Jerry.
Okay.
A council member recommended we have the disc golf included into this plan. That was at the meeting. Jerry thought this plan for this site should kind of stand alone. I'll work through that with him.
okay.
okay.
they also said, if you didn't know, there was a proposal to sell the property to the owners who are up against the disc golf course and close all 18 holes.
Of the new section.
Of the new section, and that got voted down, and so, the mayor said, this is settled matter, and it won't be on the agenda again, and, it's in the near future as far as you could see.
There's something maybe they need to address.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that it's a gem, a jewel, he called it a jewel, and that we should continue to make it that way. And so we have not finished, now that we have that ruling and people are ready to move forward, because we know we're not tearing it down or taking it away, then we need to make, he wants to readdress the fees for the tournament fees, and we have to get a sign there, and we need to get the map redrawn, because there's an incorrect map out there right now. So we might need a workshop just for the disc golf course, and maybe we'll do that in June then.
Sounds good.
So we have some work there to do, and then we'll have to get all the experts in and get,
Can move
work
forward
on
though,
the,
and get
getting
that.
sponsorships and income coming in from that and all that good stuff, so.
Good.
Yeah, I'm excited about that happening, so we don't have to have that hanging over us. All right, back to Joe.
That's it.
That's it for you?
For staff report,
Yeah,
the disc golf, you know that some of the baskets were removed on the expansion in the winter time. I talked to the guys today and they said about the 12, so by next week, the baskets on the,
yeah, the council predetermined dates they'll be reinstalled, and we'll get them installed at that point. City Hall, like the yeah. City Hall, the sprinkler system is down due to construction, so the ball fields might get kind of brown. I'm not sure exact date we're getting water restored. I did talk to the contractor today. Probably in a month or so. So hopefully things stays okay.
Will that affect the garden as well?
It partially has, but
We have
we
it
do
on
have
tap.
temporary water that we added extra chunks onto the hoses. So everything should be able to be watered manually.
That's all that matters.
Yep. And we temp the
Not just the
water line.
south, not just the south,
Just the south.
just the south will have it
Yep.
in the hoses. Okay, so the
But the
other,
hoses will reach the entire garden.
they will reach, okay.
Yep. So everyone will be able to get water. There's at least half a dozen people in there today doing things. So.
Wow. That was so exciting. Yeah, he did a great job. The group did a great job, and everything's out there if you want to take a look. It's pretty exciting. That's
Really
it.
all I have. Spring's our busy time. We're switching over to road work, sewer plant, get our sewer plant going. Yeah, it's busy.
Okay, then committee member reports. I would like to just say, following up on Bill Toff's resignation because of what happened at Monday's meeting. We have an opening, as far as I know, so if you do know anybody, just tell them to apply. And if they decide, they may decide to keep us at 5 or go back to 7, I don't know. But at this point, we should at least tell people if they're interested that they could apply. And we'll wait to hear.
People you had on like a waiting list or anything?
I know we had one other person for sure that I know there was one who applied because he interviewed 2 people at least.
we'll have to confirm with the mayor what they want to do, if they want
Yeah.
to find somebody to fill
Yeah.
that spot. Or
I think sometimes, and I've always kind of felt like we were good at 5. So I don't see it being a bad thing if we did do that without, I mean, we expanded and then it's been fine. But I also think the sustainability of it, maybe we have an alternate that makes sure that we always have 5 or, so there could be something like that. So we always have a quorum to be voting and a majority and I don't know, but that's my 2 cents, so.
Okay, I just think if we have people who are interested, plus we're all women, it would be nice to have a little male input
Nice for
too,
somebody
but,
with little children.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we have a few, but,
I do.
Oh, yeah, you do.
so,
And
We
big
have
ones.
one little-
I have one little one.
the Paul Bunyan Scenic Byway, they updated their website, and we are B for Breezy, so we're the first city that comes up, which is a great position to be in when you're looking through it. I would like to ask everybody on their free time to please look at it. And then there's a lot of things that are wrong and old and outdated, and so we need to get that updated.
So
And
where we stood with that before was
Yeah.
they had proposed to cities participating in a video project, and it was quite expensive.
I remember that.
Yeah, and they asked the park committee first, and I said, well, we don't have the authority to spend money. So then it went to the council, and I'm not sure what the council Yeah,
maybe we can revisit that, everyone look in there, look at the changes we need to make. We also,
I was going
go
to say,
ahead.
I think that we can propose changes to make it accurate, the information accurate, without participating in the video project.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Yeah. And then, yes, I think so too. That sounded correct.
So there is a guy who's going to video the new disc golf course now that it's settled and going to be the way it is. Once all the baskets get in, it would be free. And we can put that on our website and we could submit it to them and see if it's a quality that they could use for that, to add to that, because that is a big part that wasn't updated in there. For sure. It also says, come and see the big footprint of Paul Bunyan, and that's not out there yet. So I added it into this one back in, plus a Babe the
spot
Blue
for
Ox to put in the front of our.
Get there.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I mean, bit by
but just
bit.
other things, details that are just outdated, and things that we'd like to talk about more, and the garden's not in there and whatnot, so.
So if we each look through their website before next meeting and bring back the changes, then I can reach out to Lynn and update her on on the things that,
Is it just-
to make it accurate.
Just Paul Bunyan Scenic Byway.org?
Paul Bunyan Scenic, yeah, I can look it up. I believe so.
So that's all I had. Kim, did you have an update for us?
I do not. I think we were going to try to see who we could get together to be, interested in advising on a committee and then scheduling a meeting. So,
I talked to Ken
Okay.
Peterson. He had put out an email just a couple days ago because people are
okay.
just starting to come back, just like the garden, everyone who went away. So they'll be back sometime in May. So I expect that we'll hear by June if we have some people that are interested in getting on that and helping advise.
that'd be good. Yeah.
Then, the garden group, by the way, is disbanding
Oh,
because they really don't feel like they have anything to do. They can't really contact people because we can't give out public, people's
Oh, it's
email
privacy-
addresses and stuff.
privacy, yeah.
They'd like to help, but it's not really, it's a privacy issue. And so they're trying to figure out a way,
if people
they do some-
voluntarily sign up to be a part of a newsletter, then that's the way to handle that. Yeah. So,
Like at school, we have the option.
yes, and if you say, would you like to receive, email newsletters or be contacted by the Garden Group Association, whatever it's called, then the people are opting in, and then it should be
Be a way
fine.
on the website to do that, I would think, too.
Or they could
Where you
form
can
like
sign
a
up.
park, like this park committee. I just wrote the stuff that made us a committee. And that was when Brad Scott was the administrator. And then, we're not a park board like the state recognized, we're just a committee.
committee.
A recommending committee. And they could do that.
Well, what we thought is, we'll see what we need to do. We have a master gardener named Nancy Logan from Crow Wing County, so she came to the meeting, and she's going to give advice and give out her contact information on anything they need to know as far as growing anything or weeds or whatever, organic gardening. So that really covers a lot. We handed out the handouts from the Cross Lake Garden Group, Garden Club, that's separate from their city, because they donated the $200 to us, and they have all the continuing ed that's free for anyone to come to. So we shared that. They're just, wondering what would they be doing now? I mean, that we couldn't do very easily, probably, or staff.
Starting a Facebook group, like Friends of Aussie.
Yeah.
And somebody just.
That's a good idea.
Private member doing it, not the city, whatever, and then the group can communicate.
Yeah, if it's
and
managed
say-
among,
Yeah, it's managed among the
Pri-
garden users, it's nothing to do with the city, and just to say, hey, I'm not gonna be around for 2 weeks, could somebody check on my plot, or did you see
like a
this, or does somebody?
community
great
of
idea.
friends versus,
Yeah.
yeah.
I will
community
suggest
garden
that.
friends,
Okay.
something like that.
That sounds like the best idea, just
I
'cause
think
you can
so,
opt in
too.
or out.
Yeah.
Just
It's
to
very
communicate,
easy.
And and some of your older users, some people don't do Facebook, but you could probably get a majority of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them
58
do.
plots. So,
And then it would be nice, like, if we joined as a committee, then we kind of know what's happening too. And that way, if issues do come up that we should talk about, we're aware they're happening. Yeah, I thought it was a great idea. I think that's a fabulous
That's really
idea.
good.
Yeah.
Yep. So they will be happy to hear this. And they would like to do social events, like an art in the garden kind of a social event that could be things like that. Yeah, I mean, in the future, those are the kind of things they would want to do and they're excited about. And,
Be fun to do yoga in the garden.
yoga in the park,
Meditation.
all kinds of different
Yeah.
things. So
Yeah.
have a plant sale, whatever it might be, community events, music in the park, they just,
We'll get
with the
there.
garden group, yeah. So
But if we, I
think that's a
it makes
great
me nervous
idea.
to have them disband and have nothing to replace that, because then you lack the way to communicate with the whole group all at once, except through the city.
Well, that's,
Right, yeah, exactly. So I think
I've
that
had,
the
so that's
Friends
a great
idea is a
idea.
great idea, and then tell them in the future, when construction's done, and that we will support activities through the
Just got a
garden
lot going
group.
on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be good.
that sounds good.
Do you want someone to create the group, or you want one of them to do it?
I can see if they need help.
Yes, we can join.
Yep,
Yeah.
one
Well,
of
I
them
think
to
Sandy
do it.
would do it.
I think Sandy would do it
I think
too.
Sandy will do it, and I think
The
she,
business and
Yes.
Yep,
personal separate.
And tell her we would like to join just to be
Yep.
interested
No,
parties.
it's just, it's not like that.
No,
Different. I won't even join the Friends of Osseo because I don't want politics in it.
yeah,
I'd love to know the nitty gritty and what they complain about the city, but I won't.
yeah.
Friends of Us, there's never any complaints
see
about the
complaints.
city.
Never say never.
I look at it every day, I'm like, I'm one of the major contributors in posters. Okay, maybe, I don't see any, it's all lake stuff. So, we're keeping it pretty lakey.
Yeah, and that can be one of the rules, positive,
Or it
to
doesn't,
help build our garden community.
well, because whoever's the administrator
Yeah,
creating the group can choose to delete. I mean, if you're just very transparent and it's not positive for the whole group to see, then
yep.
All right, I will bring that to them. Sounds good. That's all I had. Does anybody else have anything, Diane?
I went up to the Cross Lake Senior Days because I saw in the schedule there was a presentation on the history and future of their community center. So it was fascinating. I mean, it really was. And he goes, oh, you were taking notes. Well, they have been developing that community center for 52 years. They started with a warming house, and it was at the site of the town dump. There was like a shed there for the guy that ran the dump. And so the city purchased it to make a park. It's been done with volunteer donations and labor. I don't think from what I gathered, they have not had much city tax money come to them. Because most of the things that he talked about were done with donations and volunteers, grants. They built the tennis courts, a softball field, and created a park board in '79. The first community center was built as 40% the size of the current one, and they've had some really good directors. In 1993, they began getting park dedication fee on buildings that are built, which I didn't know they could do that. I will have to look into that because our park dedication fees are about done because we only got them when land was subdivided, and I don't see any coming.
Oh, they're coming.
They're coming? Well, we get a choice then of money or land, whichever would be advantageous.
And I don't even know how that works.
But
Can anyone
he made
explain
it
that?
sound- he
Watch
made
the
it
council meeting.
He made it sound as if every house paid a fee in. So I'm not sure that was correct.
I think
In
it's new
'96, they
development.
built the new the new one, the new community center building, donations from the Lions, the Ideal Community Service Club, and they built the picnic shelter with donations and volunteers. In '99, they built the first playground with donations and a DNR grant. In 2002, they got a director who helped them put in a Nordic mixed trail, and 80 acres were sold to the city by someone who wanted it to stay natural in perpetuity.
Yeah.
And so, and it happened to abut it. So they've had a series of
Wow.
fortunate events.
Oh, yeah.
They have summer programs at the library, and it's kind of almost like a, you know, like the kind of library that you'd expect in a major city. And they've had people from all over the world come in there and they go, what's the population here? When they hear it's like around 2,000, they can't believe it. They said, this is like no other library we've ever seen in a city like this. And they are a 501c3. And it's called their PAL Foundation.
Yeah.
And then they've expanded their trail on the 80 acres for skiing and hiking, and they actually have 10 miles
I've done it. It's fabulous.
trail. In 2021, they got pickleball, built by volunteers. And in 22, they got a pavilion for a dog park, and they're putting in a dog park. They got cornhole, replaced their bocce ball. They resurfaced their pavilion floor next to the bathrooms, refurbished the playground. They just get so much done. They completely redid the playground. It only took them 8 months from the idea to do it to when it was being used, which is
Big
pretty
donation.
speedy.
Big
Pretty
donation.
speedy. They have an overlook park with a kayak launch, also built with donations from over 50 businesses and individuals. So they're really tapped into some connected people. They also have a 30-acre park called South Bay Park with 5,500 feet of lake shore. And I'll tell you, when I came back, I was like envious how they did it, how they've gotten everybody
Takes a long
together,
time.
how they managed to get the donations. But I don't, you know, I should have asked him. Because they're 501c3, they don't have the going to a council to get approved. If they want to do something, they can do it. Because it's them and their money. So there's some advantages to having that. And what they're planning soon is another 0.6 mile paved walking path, 4 more pickleball courts. They're going to resurface the existing courts, adding 48 parking spaces, going to create a nature play area, a gaga ball area, they're going to be expanding their landscaping features, and they're relocating their sledding hill. And they're planning for a building, a sports building in the future where you can rent equipment. It'll be a warming house. And they're putting in a maple trail, 5,000 maple seedlings, which they're hoping will self-reseed and create something that's like he says, you know, they hope it'll be breathtaking in the fall.
Oh, my goodness.
In 20 years. I may not be there. But they're very ambitious. I don't know who all's on the board, but Joe, who lives on my street, he's the one who did the presentation. We lost a gem when we lost him to Cross Lake. He's been working with them for 17 years, and his wife on the library. And I have been so impressed with that library. Oh my goodness. And it's busy. It's busy in there. They also, you know, to additionally use their community center, they have, as you mentioned, the garden club. It's not their city thing. It's just people doing a garden club. They have an art club in the painting. And I mean, I see kind of options to be limitless. You could have a pinochle club. You could have bridge. You could have anything.
We play mahjong there.
Anything,
We
yeah.
also have a park director.
Yes.
See, and that's.
Huge staff.
I don't know, is
That's
he
the
is he
thing,
a
is
city
the-
staff person, or does he work for PAL?
He works for the city.
City.
So that's part of the difference too in our town is, I mean, we have to get the donations to make things happen, but then it's the operating and the running of it. And so,
But we actually have more population.
Not businesses.
Yes.
That's right.
They have.
we're more
they've
of
got
a
moneyed people.
sleeper town, a residential, and that's sometimes why people have moved here too.
But it was quite a fascinating thing to hear of how they keep marching along. And I said, you know, so it sounds like you've got all these people focused and you all kind of agree this is the direction you're going. And he offered if we wanted him to come and talk to us sometime about how they're set up, he would.
Well, I think starting with this, going back to the RFP kind of thing and getting a map of what we're wanting to do. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's going to give us, not to have them not come or something, that's, no, we're here, they're here, but gives us, it's our North Star.
Yeah.
And then it's taking baby steps by baby steps by baby steps to get there, and sometimes maybe a bigger jump. But I think it will set us in the right direction to be
Yeah.
And we're going to see if we get the people to get involved. We have to have people who are in the community who are willing to get in, step up and do the fundraising for us and help us with that. So that's a huge part of it. And if they really want this, like they say they do.
Well, and I think we have to remember a lot of people, working people, even the times that I sometimes wonder, would we get more participation if we pushed our meetings back just an hour? But would that really change anything? But a lot of families live here, and then they're busy going to work and coming back and taking care of their families. And not saying that they can't participate in other things, but I just think that's a lot of what we have.
Yeah, and, you know, we have like 150 like partner funds and they full-time fundraise. You know, they might do a golf tournament and make $50,000 and, you know, they have a team of like 10 to 15 people that are constantly fundraising for the fund. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is, fantastic.
Yeah.
We need that help. But we
Yeah,
need a
you
few
need some
people
peop-
from the community that really
Right.
want to take it.
Yeah.
Like Sandy from the garden, she said she'd be interested in being on that Initiative Foundation 501c because she was going to try to start one herself, but it was too complex. This is perfect. So, but we need some pickleball people now, and we need some all the different interests because it's not just for pickleball. It's going to be for the parks, all the parks. But this will be the
Future
first,
of
you know.
all of our projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, community events, whatever, you know. And some of those community events will be fundraising events. That'll be fun.
It would be fun.
So like even with the disc golf course that we can acknowledge it and finish it and celebrate it, we should, you know, like at the workshop, talk about a grand opening and maybe a family tournament for disc golf or something, a 9-hole, or I don't know. See, you know,
For the first 18, we did a grand opening and had cookies
Yeah.
and lemonade and just invited people out. And
definitely. People, I
So
mean,
it'd
you
be
could
fun
just
to
see
do
from the
a
garden how
re-
excited people are to do things like that.
a reopen or I don't know.
Expansion.
Expansion,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Yeah, expansion, reopen, you know. And then talk about, they can snowshoe out here. There's the sliding hill or hills, you know, they can
Yeah.
see this is yours to use.
All our offerings.
So yeah, we can start showing off our jewel now. We can take it out from under the cover. But that's great, Diane. I mean, thank you for
Yeah.
going
There's
and,
you know, just,
and thinking
there's a lot
about
of-
it and you
A lot
can,
of possibilities out there.
Yes.
yeah, and sharing it with us.
But they must have when they began, they must have had a core of some really dedicated people to get it off on the right foot.
Yep.
And the women's club I met with and one of the presidents, and they're willing to help us and maybe put a fundraiser towards parks. And once we get our concept plan that we
And
can show people, then we can
PLCC
get
has
things
been so
going
good
like
to
that.
us.
Yep.
The money and
What was that, Diane? Sorry.
PLCC has been so good to the city with making donations.
Yes, Pelican, yeah, definitely.
I mean, they have been really magnificent in the past. I don't know if we've gotten anything or requested anything of them lately, but I know in the past, they were been very generous.
They gave to the garden.
the garden was.
Yeah,
Yep.
a good bunch.
And we did come in under budget, just under budget on the garden, so that's good. Right, Joe?
It's not done.
Close.
It's really close to where we want to be. We don't have to ask for more money at this point, and I'm just waiting till we get the water on and make sure nothing unexpected pops up, and then I'll see where we're at and see what else we can get done. But that'll be probably, I don't know, July, when I can, that's usually when we start catching our breath from spring.
We did get another $200 donation from one of the gals on the garden club, Leslie, and Pettis, and I want to thank her for that. She gave us that to pay for the signs, and you'll see these huge signs on the door. They were $30 each, and we have 6 of them, so it was $180. So she said, "I'll cover it," so we don't have to use even our budget, because we just went to CLC and said, "Could you just do some 8.5 by 11s? Because we're not going to do can't do the sign thing right now. We just don't have the time. The staff doesn't have time
Don't
to
want
do
to
it."
invest a ton into,
And
yeah.
and they would have been more expensive. So she came to pick them up, and they were this big, and they're metal and vinyl and whatever, I don't know, but they're really nice, and they're way bigger, and people are actually going to read them. We were just going to laminate a piece of paper and put it on the door temporarily, whatever, we had to make do. And so they've just been unbelievable on working with us. And then she did that wonderful thing by donating the money, so we didn't have to take that out of our budget.
Didn't we turn Shane loose to make a sign?
He
Is
is
he making a sign?
he was waiting, and I think we all decided, we know it's a garden, it's right there. We're going to have that
No,
arbor.
I'm talking about for the disc golf, too.
He's working on that. So he should be ready to present to us in June, or we could just do it in the workshop if we don't want to do it in the regular meeting, because there's a lot to talk about. Like we just said, all those different things. So,
Okay.
we can deal with that then. But yeah, I have been talking to him, and he's ready. He's getting ready to work on it, and he's got his sign ready to donate. He's donating a sign, which I can show you a picture of too, that he's putting up that points to the two,
The two courses.
Monarch and
Yep.
Agate Pass.
And I've forgotten, which one of those guys was wanting to go get hole sponsors? One of those guys?
He will.
It was him?
Yep.
We'll get back to it.
Yep. So I, of course, told them what went on. I said, watch the council meeting, and we're going to get going on this again. We've been told by the council, we've been directed. So that's the sign he's going to donate.
Nice.
I think it'll really pop, and especially when the trees are out. It was going to be brown, but he did the green
yeah.
instead. And so then, he will propose something that's fitting with that to go for the big sign in the parking lot. And then we can also, yeah, it's still, right. So he'll show us, and then we can put it forth to them. And if we still want to look for other people to bid it out to, we can do that. But
Awesome.
at least he's
I have to get,
he's got this done, and we'll get up whenever Joe can get it up. And he gets it over to him.
Good.
All right, anything else? All right, motion to adjourn, second?
Second.
All right, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed. Thank you very much.